Fala pessoal, hoje eu tô fora do meu ambiente normal, né, de gravar vídeos e hoje a gente vai dar continuidade à nossa cobertura da 49ª edição da Mostra Internacional de Cinema aqui em São Paulo, que é claro são com as entrevistas, né? Eu tô com a oportunidade de entrevistar vários diretores aqui da mostra de vários filmes e tem sido muito legal mesmo. E hoje eu vou mostrar para vocês a minha entrevista com a Euzhan Palcy, que é a diretora de Assassinato Sob Custódia. A minha crítica ainda vai sair desse filme e também fiquem de olho para alguns compilados, né? Porque já que são vários filmes, eu vou colocar, né, comentários de vários filmes em apenas um vídeo e, é claro, alguns outros filmes que eu escolher, né, vou acabar escolhendo, eu vou acabar fazer vídeos separados. Então, fiquem com a entrevista e não se esqueçam de se inscrever, dar um like e comentar se você está acompanhando a mostra, quais filmes você já assistiu, quais filmes que você vai querer ver. Então, sem mais delongas, fiquem com o vídeo. So, hello and welcome to a new episode of Cine Pimenta Geek. Today I have the pleasure to be joined by Euzhan Palcy. She's being awarded here in the 49th edition of the Mostra. So, it's a great pleasure to be able to talk to you today. So, I wanted to begin asking you, how has your experience been here in Brazil? Have you been here before? How has it been?
Well, I came here, I would say, a few years ago, many years ago, I would say, maybe around 30 years ago. Yes, and I came. I hope that I'm not wrong about the years, but with my film A Dry White Season. Yes, that was my first time. Yes, here.
Very good. And actually, I had the pleasure of watching A Dry White Season. I think it was last week. And this is the movie that I wanted to talk to you specifically about. The movie was very impactful to me when I watched it, in the sense of the violence and the injustice that the characters go through. And I wanted to ask you, how was it like directing these scenes with more violence, and how did it feel?
Actually, there are a lot of violence, yes, but it was absolutely necessary. And I wanted to make a movie that was absolutely accurate, just to help people all over the world who will see that movie to take a stand against apartheid and ask for the freedom of Mandela and the end of apartheid. In order to do that, I had to go to South Africa, and I went undercover, I would say, to Soweto, and I was able to meet people, children, I mean men, teenagers, women, who had been tortured by the police. So, and I recorded them, and it described everything to me. So everything that is in the movie is totally, absolutely accurate. That's exactly what happened to people when they torture them, they arrest them, you know, and the special branch arrest them, and that's what they do to them. So it was not difficult for me. I didn't try to imagine, and I reproduced the truth. And yeah.
And I think that really comes to the screen, because that's exactly what I felt. I felt like this visceral, like feeling that what I was seeing was like actual history. So I believe that's one of the reasons that I think that impacted me so much. And I wanted to ask you, like, what message do you hope stays with people after they watch A Dry White Season in this edition of the Mostra?
Actually, you're talking about people today or back then?
Could you talk about both, maybe?
Why not? Well,
Thank you.
when I did that movie, I did it, you know, for the reason I explained earlier. I wanted people to see what it is like, because some people will turn a blind eyes. Some people will feel like, I'm not, it's not me. So it's in Africa, and they didn't care. But actually, when the movie, and some of the people, they didn't know exactly what was going on. So when the movie came out, it was a shock. It was a terrible shock for everybody, because even the people who knew that we were fighting against apartheid, they had no real idea of what was, most of them, and they didn't know, most of them didn't know what was happening really, you see, and they were in shock. And immediately, people will decide to gather to talk about it and help all the organizations that was fighting against apartheid. And now talking about today, the audience today, I mean, the same thing. I mean, of course, there is apartheid does not exist anymore. But when the people, they sit down in the theater and they watch the movie, they feel, I mean, they are in rage, great rage, and of course they are happy that all this is finished in South Africa, but it exists in other countries, and also that gives them food for thought, about what is going on today, in the world, in other countries.
Surely, and I believe that since we're talking about the past and the present, I believe that when people watch this movie, I believe that they will also be like enraged that even these things happened in the first place. So yes. I think that's very fascinating. And you talking reminded me of a line from the movie that Sutherland's character says, that is, there is nothing to be done, Yes. And I believe that is something that he greatly regrets in his story. What do you feel that this line represents?
Sorry, what's the question? What?
This line from Sutherland, there's nothing to be done.
Yes. What does that mean?
Yes.
Well, actually, you see, Donald Sutherland embodies a character, Ben Dutoit, and he is representing this kind of white people who did not know really what was happening. Not all of them. Many knew what was going on, and they were happy with that. And they would say, when the police will be arresting the kids, beat them up, put them in jail. They would say, well, they deserve it, or they are troublemakers, and, okay. But there are other people like Ben Detroit that Donald Sutherland was portraying, who very honestly didn't know what was going on. They knew that the police, there were problems and all kind of stuff, but they didn't know exactly what the police was doing to those kids. So that's why, when in the beginning he was just like he was blind. He was blind, like some of them, and it was important. The meeting between him and a journalist, embodied by Susan Sarandon, she helped him on his journey, to open his eyes and to learn more and more. That's why, see, and that also the character that Marlon Brando, the lawyer, Mr. Mackenzie, all those people are saying to him, but where were you? Since how long have you been in that country? And that's the truth. And little by little, his eyes will open. He will discover the truth. And as I used to say, that white man who was a history teacher, he will do in the story what he did, not because like a white savior, the white hope. No, he did it in the name of his human dignity. He couldn't accept that what he saw. He couldn't turn a blind eye because the curtain was pulled out. So he saw the light, he saw the truth. When he will go to the mortuary, because in the beginning, when Stanley said, well, Gordon is dead. So he's asking, what happened? I mean, he said, they said that he committed suicide. Stanley is saying that. They said that he committed suicide because that's what they used to do. They kill the person and then they say he jumped from the window or he hanged himself. That was what the special branch used to give as an excuse. So Ben Detroit will say, why would he commit suicide? And Stanley will correct him right away and say, I said, they said that he committed suicide. You see? So, and he said, I want to see him. Because he wanted to see it with his own eyes, to really believe that. And that's a very important step. You see? And when he goes there, he was very brave, very courageous. He went there and he looked at the body and he realized that that's not, he didn't commit suicide, that's torture. And that's the start, the beginning of his education about the horror of apartheid, the horror perpetuated by his own people. So he is on a journey, and as a human being who had a soul, who is an honest person, he cannot turn a blind eyes and pretend that this is it's not my business and I don't want to be part of it, or it didn't happen. He cannot do that, and that unfortunately will cost him his life.
Yeah, but I believe. I'm sorry. I believe that's what makes the movie so powerful. I think it's also a lesson to everyone today. Not to turn a blind eye to these things.
Yeah.
So I thank you for making such a powerful movie way back then that speaks so much to today.
I will start with the one that I saw when I was younger. I mean, Black Orpheus, Orfeu Negro, Black Orpheus. I don't know if you heard of that movie. It's an adaptation of the myth of Orfeu and Eurydice. Yeah, and this is a movie. For the first time, I saw black people on screen. With black people in wonderful parts, dancing, enjoying life, and loving each other. There is a love story and kissing. First of all, when I was going to the theater at very young age, I was always complaining after that, where are we? Why there is no black people on the screen? And that movie, you see, I kept it with me, all along. When I left, I grew up and I left, I went to France to study. And I knew that was possible. And also, there is another movie I saw, L'Enfant Sauvage, François Truffaut. I don't know if it's a translation in English, is a wild child, but L'Enfant Sauvage. And he was playing a doctor, and he found a child who was in the forest. And he grew up just like a little animal, a monkey, And he was able to capture him and try to teach him, words and to behave like a normal human being with so much love. And that's how I fell in love with François Truffaut's work, you see. And there was also another filmmaker, Costa Gavras. When I saw his movie, we call it Z, You see, that is a very tough action political film with Yves Montand. And yeah, and there is also, I will say 3, but I will add one more. Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock. When I saw his first movie, I saw for the first time one of his movies was Psycho. Yes, that also was something that just like, it was amazing for me.
Thank you very much for your time. It has been an immense pleasure. So for us to finish, I actually wanted to give you this as a small thank you for talking with me today.
Oh, thank you. Okay, should I open it? Of course.
Oh, you can open it whenever you want. It's just
a little gift.
It's a presidential.
Oh, okay.
So
I want to share it with you guys.